Hi friends, it's Peggy Noe from PrettyPaperCards.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I'm here today for Facebook Live with Peggy and Ellie. And here's Ellie. I was trying to think of something fun I could have her do, some kind of trick or something, but she really doesn't do any tricks. She just is a sweet little thing and sits in my lap. She runs around. She loves to run around, and she actually has loved having me home all the time. Hey Linda, how are you? I've got her pink striped bow in today. So she loves having me home, and my husband and I are home almost all the time now with the quarantine, and she loves it. So that's one reason I bring her on, is just so you can see how adorable she is. Okay, well today we are going to make a card using some beautiful paper. I want you to see the beautiful paper that I'm going to use today. Hi Sue. Hey Christy, good to see you all. Today we're going to use some beautiful paper that's part of the Ornate Garden Suite. And I know I've talked about it, but we're going to make a card using it, and I'm going to show you different ways to use this paper. So I'm going to put Ellie down. She'll be glad. She'll get over in her little house, and I'm going to turn the camera down so that we can see the beautiful paper we're going to use today. Okay, hold on just a second while I turn this down and do a couple of things here so that you can see. There is the beautiful Ornate Garden Specialty Designer Series paper is what it's called. And this paper is gorgeous. It comes with 6 different patterns, 6 patterns front and back, all different, and 2 of each sheet. And the thing that makes it a specialty paper is because it has gold foil. This is gold foil with mint macaron. This is gold foil with white. This is gold foil with old olive. And these 2 do not have gold foil. But there's one missing, and that's the one I've used so much of. This is my favorite. Now I'm going to go over to this one next. But this one has the bigger blossoms of daisies, and this is what we're going to use today. Now I'll show you the other side. Here is the other side. These are the other beautiful colors and patterns that you get, and this is the tiny one that I've used almost 2 full sheets of. But what I want to show you today is what you can do with this gold foil on white, because it is just calling out for us to do something with it. And I want to use, like I've been talking about, the outgoing, retiring in colors. And these are the outgoing in colors. Here are the markers. And I want to show you what I've been doing with the markers on that beautiful gold and white foil paper. So here is a small piece that I cut, and I just colored in with these different markers. I colored in the daisies and the little daisies and the leaves, and it's real easy to use the markers. Now, watercoloring does not work that well on this. Mostly you're going to want to use the markers or another technique I'm going to show you in a bit here. I have used, if you've gotten the Ornate Garden Suite, you know what I'm talking about. I've used one of the Ornate border dies. There are lots of beautiful border dies that go with this set, and there are also label dies. But here are the border dies, and this is the one I've used for the yellow, which is Pineapple Punch. And so I haven't finished creating with this one yet. I've just got the border on and trimmed it, and then I'm gonna think of a cute card for this one. I don't have that finished. But here is one that I did finish on a note card, and I didn't put any border like I did on the other one, but I put a piece of the Pineapple Punch behind it. I used a blueberry bushel ribbon, and I stamped a thanks from the Ornate Thanks stamp set. And isn't that cute? That's just on a little note card. I think that's really sweet. It's a sweet note card. out of the in colors. Now, I did a bigger card not using the in colors, and this is how this came out. I really love it. It's Flirty Flamingo. This was with blends, so this is another way to color your foil with Stampin' Blends. Night of Navy, and I think that's Granny Apple Green, both the light and the dark. And then I put some metallic pearls on there. Isn't that pretty? I'll hold that up just a little bit more so that you can see it. It's really, you can do so much with this paper. So let's see the card we're going to make today. And here it is. I decided to make something soft. And so I am sponging. We're going to sponge the paper, a little piece of the paper, and create this You're Amazing card, which I think it's a great fun thing to have. You're amazing. Hi Lori, I see that you're on here too. I'm noticing the color is a little bit fuzzy, and I don't really know why. It's not as clear as I would like it to be for you to see this beautiful card, so I'm going to hold it up a little bit and show you really how pretty it is with that gold foil and that sponging. So let's get started. Now today I'm using the Stampin' Up! Note cards and envelopes. The note cards are fabulous. They're a fabulous buy. That you get 20 note cards and 20 envelopes in Whisper White for only $7. I mean, where can you get such a deal? The note cards themselves are 5 inches by 3.5. And let's just fold this in half right now. We're going to get started. And I'm using my bone folder. They are made of thick Whisper White cardstock, which is really great because they are a nice sturdy card to create with. And this is a size that is acceptable by the U.S. Post Office, so it's a nice way to send a fun little encouraging card to your friends. So to start off today, we are going to use a 4 3/4 by 2 3/4 piece of that paper that I showed you, the gold foil. And I'm going to use Grapefruit Grove today, Grapefruit Grove ink. And full in the camera view for you. I'm going to use a sponge dauber, and all I'm going to do is just daub into the ink and just lightly sponge. It's really easy. It gives really a very light look to it, as you saw on the finished card. But it's just another thing that you can do with the foil. And sponging is kind of peaceful, just like coloring. The coloring with the blends or the markers takes a while, and that would be a project if you just want to sit and color for a while. It's a wonderful thing to do. The sponging goes a little bit faster, and you can see that I'm really not paying a lot of attention to where I get darker or lighter, because it's really, I can go back and kind of fix that with the sponging. And I cut this piece a little bit smaller than the size of the note card because we're going to add some things to it, as you saw. And plus it gives me more paper to play with, right? Because I love this paper, so I want to use a can out of it. Okay, and there we've got it just about finished. I do have that little dark part right there. But I think it's going to be okay. We're going to just go with it. So the sponging is done. And there is our piece of the Ornate Gold Specialty Foil. So let's go back to our note card. We're going to, I think I'm going to, that is kind of a dark spot, isn't it? Well, I am just going to go with it because it's made by, I know this is one thing Lori says. That's how you know it's handmade. If it has a little something different that might be a little different on there. Right, Lori? Okay, so this is where I'm going to place this piece. But first, I'm going to put a strip, a 4 3/4 by 1 inch strip of Grapefruit Grove cardstock. This is one of those retiring in colors that I'm using here. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put this on first. I kind of look to see how I want it to be, right where I want it, with the border the same size on all the sides. And I'm going to use my glue, my multi-purpose glue that's in my nail polish holder that you know I love. And we're going to just put a little bit of glue on that strip, and let's put it down right here. And as long as you try to get the same distance on all 3 sides there, it'll work out just fine. And we hold it for just a minute until it sets. Okay, now we're ready to put on our foil, our sponged foil piece, and we're going to do that with glue. I love to be able to manipulate it and get it what I think is right or perfect, because I feel like it's so wasteful if I get my paper on wrong and then I have to do it again. So let's lower that down just a bit, so the same distance on all sides, all 4 sides now, and there we go. That's done. Now the next thing we're going to do is put on some very vanilla, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Leave me a comment if you're on so I can see, and you can ask me questions too. I'm looking at the comments, and so if you have questions, ask them right in the comment section. So to add this lace trim, this very vanilla lace trim, I'm going to put it right where those 2 papers meet. And what I'm going to do, I want to show you how I'm going to use tiny dots of the multi-purpose glue to adhere the lace, and they're tiny dots that you will not see, hopefully. So I'm just going to make sure I have a little glue on the edge, on the tip rather, and I'm going to put just a tiny dot of glue about every ½ inch right along, and I'm barely pressing the glue out of the container. Just a tiny dot. And the one thing I like about this lace is that it has a border, if you can see that border up at the top. And that is what is going to cover these little dots of glue. So I'm going to start with the edge that I just trimmed nicely, and I'm just going to lay it down over my dots. Now, one thing about the glue is if you leave it just a minute, it will kind of set up if you leave it before you put what you're going to glue onto it. So I tried to do that. And now we're just going to lay that down right over those little dots. You kind of have to just hold it in place for just a second and manipulate it. It takes a minute. Don't get discouraged. Just lay it right on the dots and press down, and it does work, I promise you. So the left side is adhered, and now we're just working a little. And right now, I'm going to go in. My fingers are getting a little wet too, a little wet with glue. I'm going to pull that down just a hair until it adheres. It should come out right. And I'm going to go in with my scissors and trim this edge. That gives a nice finished edge. And then we're going to press that down again. And it will stick. And there we go. What do you think? Isn't that pretty? It could be a little closer up there. You can, because the glue is, you're able to manipulate it a little bit. And so there's our pretty lace. I think it looks beautiful with the, hey Debbie, hi Lori, good to see you girls. I think the lace looks beautiful, don't you? It just adds to the softness of this card. So the next thing we're going to do is do our sentiment. Let's see what we're going to do. If you remember from our sample, what happened to my sample? This is what we're going to do. So we're going to use punches today. I love to use punches. So first we're going to punch out a 2 1/4 inch circle with a 2 1/4 inch circle punch. And we're going to punch out of Grapefruit Grove, just like that. The next thing we're going to do is we are going to use some Whisper White, and I want to show you another fabulous stamp that comes with this suite, the Ornate Style stamp set. There's so much in this suite. So this is another stamp set, and this large stamp is really pretty. And so I wanted to use it just a bit today. Again, with the Grapefruit Grove ink, I'm going to ink up the top portion of the stamp, well, most of it actually. And I'm just going to press it down on my Whisper white paper. Whoop, it didn't get quite clear in there, did it? So I'm going to do it again. Just turn the paper over, try again. Let's see, we have a little something on there. I'm going to just stamp right over it and press. Very nice. Okay, and now we've got our paper stamped, and we're going to go back in with the 2-inch circle punch, and we're going to punch that pattern out. That pretty pattern, just like that. And that's going to create our next layer. So we're going to pop that up on dimensionals. We're going to get out our dimensionals here and put a few on the back, and you can see where I didn't stamp. It didn't come out quite right, but it's wonderful that paper has 2 sides, and we can just do it again. And now I'm going to lay this piece on the other circle a little bit over into the side, just to give it a little different, just a different kind of look rather than standard. And now I'm going to adhere it with dimensionals again right onto our card, our foil on our card, just like this. I used about 3 dimensionals. I don't know if you can see that. And that seems to get it to pop up, just gives it a support on all the sides. And so here we go. Hi Diana, how are you? Good to see you today. How are you guys doing? Okay, so we're gonna do it so that where the circles come together more is facing this way, because this is how we want to place our sentiment. Okay, so there we've got our circle stamped and backed and raised and adhered. That's a mouthful. All right, now we're going to stamp our sentiment. And I've decided to use from the Ornate Thanks set. I love these. You've seen I've used the big ones, but I also like the small ones. And the one I'm using today, we saw earlier, is You're Amazing. YOU''RE, amazing. Because I want to send that to someone and encourage them that they are amazing. I'm going to use my Memento Black, Tuxedo Black Memento ink, and get that inked up. It's a very sweet little font. I really like it. And now I'm going to see if I can get it just even in that. I'm going to put my head right over it in case you see my hair. Don't look at my roots, okay? Okay, there it is. We got that down good. Oh, how are you all doing without going to the hairdresser? I am going nuts. I don't know what things are going to look like in another month. Okay, so this is our sentiment, and you know how I like to use my tuxedo. Oh goodness, I thought this was named Tuxedo also. Somebody tell me. Hi, Sue. Pretty nails. Are you? No, you know what? I haven't been to the nail lady. I just trimmed them myself. Sue's asking about my nails, but I'm about ready to, and she's going to wear a mask, and I'm going to wear a mask. But my son is threatening and saying, do not do it. But I'm getting a little desperate. Tailored tag punch, that's what it is. And this is what I love to use to clip my edges, to give a flagged look to my edges. And when it comes out uneven, that's just a hair bit uneven, then I can always go back in and fix it. That looks a little better. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put this sentiment right on top of my circle. And I'll show you one little bit of it here, so it's a little shorter. Now, this is a trick. So this is a little trick that I'm going to teach you. So let's look and see how many dimensionals are here. We've got one layer of dimensionals under the Grapefruit Grove circle and another layer of dimensionals under the stamped piece. So if I only use one layer of dimensionals under my sentiment, it would be too low, right? So I'm going to make a dimensional tower. Have you ever done that? Have you ever made a dimensional tower? Now, I'm not going to put anything on this edge. I'm going to put two-dimensional towers on this side so that this is the same height as my circles. Then I'll go back in and put a dot of glue underneath that edge. So let's build our dimensional tower. So I'm going to put one here, and then another one right about here where I know it will lay on the foiled paper. I'm going to pull off the paper backing. Now I'm going to go in and put another one to build a tower on each dimensional. And I line it up pretty much the same as that one is lined up. So now I've got 2 layers of dimensionals. What do you think about that? Okay, now I'm going to take off these backing pieces, and it should turn out just right so that it doesn't look uneven. So I'm going to set it right here, and the dimensionals are underneath my little towers, and it's the perfect height. Yay! Now I'll go back in and put a little bit of glue right under this tip. You don't need to, but I kind of like to, just to make sure it stays on correctly. Ellie's coughing, I don't know why. Okay, so there's our card. Isn't that cute? And it really didn't take long, did it? And it's a little different. It's got a little foo-foo on it. You could put some gems. And now I'm going to show you, this is another thing I discovered today, is how pretty a little bit of this beautiful big stamp is. In other words, rather than the whole thing, I'm going to put just a tiny bit on this corner of the inside of my card. You know I like to color the inside of my card, or rather give a little, just carry the front on. So I'm just going to stamp the top section there right onto the edge, and look how cute that is. Isn't that cute? And I guess I already did, did I bring an envelope? I thought I brought an envelope. This is what I did to my previous envelope. Here's the new one. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing. Just ink that edge up and then press it down on the side of the envelope. Isn't that, I feel like I'm going to use this edge of this stamp a lot. I really like it. I'll hold it up a little closer so you can really get, can you see that? It's so pretty. And the two together, that combination, I mean, wouldn't you love to receive that card? I would. And who knows, maybe you'll be getting one. I'm going to be sending them to my friends and my customers and my demonstrators. Not exactly this one, but similar ones. I'm making a whole bunch to send out to all of you. So I thank you for watching my video, and I'm going to ask you if you want to order the Ornate Garden Suite. You can order all these items separately, and all you do is click up above the video is a place to click through to my store. Hi, Biba. And you can purchase these items. Be sure to use my host code, because if you do, you'll get a special gift from me and a handmade card from me, maybe even this one. So I so appreciate you stopping by. Hi, Danette. You are a little bit late. Yeah, I'm sorry. You're really not late. It's just that I finished the card. So definitely look at the replay. Thank you all for stopping by. I've really enjoyed seeing you today, or at least seeing your comments. And have a wonderful weekend. Take care of yourself. Wash your hands, right? Now, my trick is I end up having trouble shutting this off. So would you be patient with me while I do this? It just doesn't like, there we go. Thank you. Bye-bye.